Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Depressed Dior, and this is Langrisser Mobile Apex Season 7. So, continuing with the placement matches. So, or qualification, I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, the 5 battles you have to do before you actually start getting rank points. Alright, so our opponent is a Season 6 Langrisser ranked person, Hatsune Miku. I don't know if anything about I don't know anything about the global version's Apex rankings and all that, so I don't know how far this person got through the elimination round or what. In any case, so this is the first opponent that actually had the new characters, and everything about this box terrifies me. A lot of rush, a lot of teleport, a lot of multiple actions, a lot of AoE. Everything about this is bad, and I hate it. So, I really did not know who to ban first. I went ahead and banned Ares because I know he at least can pump out the damage. They banned my Rose and Seal, not surprised. They went straight for Tensei Jessica. I could try to go straight for a tank, but I knew it wouldn't really help me at this point. With that teleport, they would have better legs, so it's a mess, to say the least. Went ahead and just started taking out their AoE as best as I could. Definitely took out Kruger because I did not want to deal with his global debuff that applies debuffs to everyone around them type thing. I didn't want to deal with that. They went straight for Mariel, which is even more terrifying. This combo here is actually really, really good. Went ahead and grabbed D-Lit because I had no healers. Honestly, I should have probably picked anyone else. But actually, D-Lit, I think the reason I picked D-Lit is because she could potentially do another action and try to close the distance. Unfortunately, my experience using D-Lit recently has not been very often, so I'm not going to do great. I went ahead and grabbed Illustrial. There's the mountains on top that you can try to take advantage of. I just needed people with legs at this point. This was just going to get pretty nasty. They grabbed Estelle, but of course Estelle's not here for tanking. She's here for the +1 mobility. Grabbed more characters that had high mobility. And that was kind of my goal at this point, was just grab what I could. I grabbed a second tank. In hindsight, I probably should have went for Sheltier. I was really concerned about them just rushing my tank and just killing her off completely. In hindsight, I think Sheltier. The other issue with Sheltier though was actually I should have probably grabbed Sheltier. Like even if I went with werewolves, it still would have been pretty effective on most of this. And I could have always swapped werewolves out for Amazon champions. So I think I should have grabbed Sheltier in hindsight. But it is what it is. The other issue, of course, was Sheltier. I had no way of buffing besides Gossable. Anyway, so my standard kits for the most part. I went with Broken Spear this time, though it didn't. I went with Broken Spear because the other one is only against magic attacks, or not magic attacks, but against ranged physical. And it was just for the potential chance that Mariel goes for the kill. Besides that, we got D-Lit here. Kind of just went with this kit for D-Lit. Honestly, I didn't have very much of a plan for this, and it shows. Alright, so as for my opponents, single targets with teleport, no surprise there. AoEs with transform. Ice Dragon Breath. I actually didn't even look at Rose and Seal's stuff. I actually went with just a few AoE heals and then Ice Dragon Breath. That's kind of interesting. Standard Mariel kit, and then Estelle here is went with Detect. Went with Detect. I mean, I guess for the possibility of dispelling buffs, or dispelling passive skills, I guess. I don't know. In any case, I'm in no position to judge. So yeah, I stayed far back here because my opponent, despite being mostly just ground troops, that teleport and the +1 mobility from this, and then Mariel being able to move extra spaces and then act again, it's nasty. And Licorice, of course, has like 5 reach with her Dark Breath, so it's just, I didn't really have an answer for this. Like, even if I moved up, like, yeah, that was the thing I had to wait for, is I had to wait to see if teleport was going to be used for anything. And then, in hindsight, I did mess up here. I moved in, but the issue here So I was out of range, even for Mariel's extra 2 steps. The problem is I go last, which means my opponent goes first next round, and so essentially Mariel can position herself anywhere she wants and then immediately go for a kill. So essentially I just kind of handed over my D-Lit here. I mean, even if I moved back, it still would have been an issue, one way or the other. So, I think it was probably because I had cap troops is the only reason I was able to endure that somewhat. Then moves in to go get the kill. Alright. So yeah, I lost my D-Lit, completely threw away, and essentially now I have no healing, which means my opponent could just outweight me at this point. And at this point, yeah, at this point I was like, alright, I can't do anything. Like, I counted out the steps for the chorus, and the coverage is insane. Yeah, essentially the coverage is, yeah, goes about around here. Around here, it's like 3 rows. So yeah, it just, I couldn't push in, and since I had no healing to counteract the AOE damage, it was just not going to go very well. Went ahead and, at this point, since I was losing, I just wanted to see how effective I would have been to kill Langrisser with just a regular attack. I was able to, which was nice. I was a little confused about something though. So yeah, at this point I gave up because I only have 2 tanks left, and I don't have a way of getting past Estelle here. But I want to go back real quick because I was a little confused about something. Okay, so yeah, that's what I figured. I got cannot heal yourself, so that really, really hurt me. Even if she was at full health, I don't think she would have survived. I should have probably stayed in the mountains in any case. That would have probably improved my chances slightly. But even if I was able to survive it, if I had stayed in the mountains, then Estelle would just follow up next round. So yeah, kind of just screwed all around there. I mean, actually, I would be able to go first, so I would actually be able to do something about it, but it would all hinge on the ability to survive this attack. But the reason I did the attack, one was to see if I can actually kill Langrisser with just a regular attack at, you know, half health. The other was the slim possibility that the Light of Genesis did not have the increased range staff, but since this is a Season 6 vet, that was not going to happen. So at this point, I went ahead and gave up. So pretty much a significant mistake early on kind of hurt me. Even if I had pulled back D-Lit, all that would have happened was the Mariel would have pushed further in, and I still wouldn't have been able to reach her because the water in the middle was just in the way for Rosalia. Sorry, I keep forgetting names. And even if I had kept Illustrial available towards the end of the first round, Mariel would have just reset herself up towards the bottom part, where Illustrial would not have as much mobility. And essentially she would just be able to push in, then at the start of the round she would just push further in to get the attack, hit my tank, and then immediately get a free kill off somebody else, because at that point I would have guarded and made the second attack unguardable. So yeah, not much I can do about it. Like I said, I think the only possible thing I could have done was try to stay in the mountains, but since I had anti-heal, it wasn't going to happen. Oh well, alright, last match. Going up against Edra, whoever that is. They open with taking out my Tensei Jessica. We got Broken Cliffs, which I actually like that map. It's actually kind of fun to fight on. They had a Sigma, so I got rid of it, because like I said, Sigma terrifies me. Everything else here is nothing. It's kind of a mix. There's a little bit of AoE, a little bit of everything. 3 tanks. 3 healers. 3 healers and a D-lit, so yeah, kind of a standard mix. I actually kind of like fighting these boxes because at least I can do something about them. Usually the main thing I can do is I can actually take out one of their possible options, like take out all of their assassins, and so they can't use assassins. Against boxes that are all in for assassins or rush or something, you get the best you can do is try to mitigate what they can use. Anyway, they take out my assassins. Nothing too special there. They grab Alandius, which gives me plenty of opportunity to go ahead and ban. I went ahead and banned their assassin. Also, since I took Freya, there's a chance that I could deal with Angelina shenanigans, so I didn't want to deal with it. So I went ahead and banned her as well. Everything else here was dangerous, but not too much. Went ahead and grabbed Illustrial because she's pretty decent on this map. Went ahead and went for D-Lit and Young Jessica. They grabbed their Elwyn, which for whatever reason they always like grabbing Elwyn, even though it's against a Freya. And I get in pretty much every time it's always SP version, which is cavalry, so it just doesn't work. At this point I went ahead and got rid of D-Lit because D-Lit's kind of dangerous. Also I wanted to go ahead and stick with spears. Went ahead and got rid of TRS. Keep forgetting names. TRS mainly because of attack blessing. I was just concerned about attack blessing making Elwyn actually dangerous. Went ahead and grabbed Rosalia. Went ahead and took out the rest of my Meteor faction, which is fine. They grabbed a Liana. I was okay with that. Went ahead and got rid of their self-resing. Did not want to deal with any guard negation, so got rid of Juggler. Went ahead and grabbed Rose and Seal at this point, purely because of Elwyn. At this point, they got rid of Hilda and Naomi, which is fine. They went ahead and grabbed Rachel. And I went ahead and got rid of any potential act-agains and got rid of Cherry because she could potentially be an assassin. So that just leaves Hilda and Luna, both of which are not that dangerous by themselves. Luna can provide additional mobility, but if that ends up being the case, I can just shoot her down with Illustrial. Went ahead and grabbed Florentia. I do have a faction buff for her because of Rose and Seal. So another match with Rose and Seal and Florentia, which I usually don't get very many opportunities to do so. And as you can see, I went ahead and grabbed a faction buff to ensure that Florentia is able to get her commands. So I dropped the 3-cost skill. I was kind of torn on what to pick, but since Florentia doesn't actually have very many single target heals, I usually don't take her single target heal. I wanted to go ahead and make sure I had some consistent healing just in case. So I was I was kind of okay with dropping the 3-cost skill. I didn't really need it, so that's why I went ahead and swapped that for the faction buff. And the faction buff is pretty good because anytime you get attacked, it'll dispel a buff from the enemy, which is kind of cool. But like I said, it's just to get more more strategies, so Florentia can use her kit better. Rose and Seal is just going to self-buff with Chivalry. Freya is still standard kit Freya, and then Illustrial is no different from before. And as you can see, her coverage is amazing, even on this map. This Luna is faction buff with Wind God Realm, nothing too special. Standard kit Elwyn with faction buff, Landius is Landius, Liana is standard kit Liana, and then Rachel here went Meditation for extra damage, I guess. Took a 3-cost skill and then took her Dark Reaper, so she's a little bit of everything. I'm not sure if she has the staff or not. So, went ahead and moved up. The main thing I was worried about was Luna, because Luna could fly, and she can move an additional 3 steps. So I measured out how far she can go, and positioned Illustrial based off that. I wanted to push in because this map is definitely very dangerous if you give up the initiative, because you can literally block somebody out just by covering, you know, the 4 spaces here. But just as I mentioned before, 1, 2, 3, yeah, so this is the range of Luna right now. And it's not a big deal because I have Florentia, so I have extra actions if I need to. So I do make a mistake though, which you'll probably notice very quickly. I don't know what I was doing here. So I moved up For some reason, I threw out the sword. I guess I was planning on trying to loop around, but it doesn't make any sense because Landius is already guarding everything. I think I was still in the mindset of trying to get through the trees here, but I also miscounted my steps. So it was just, I essentially just ran up, threw my sword behind me, and well, essentially Rosalia charged forth, dropped her sword, and ran back to pick it back up. That's what I did with her. I'd use Chivalry just to get back in guard range. So yeah, I completely threw that away. Thankfully, my opponent did not emote at me. So I was like, alright, well, threw that all away. I mean, it did get the sword out, which could be somewhat helpful, but overall not useful. Lashing Elwyn does give me some additional information. He is immune to fixed damage, so he has a assess rate that makes him immune. Luna went up for some reason, so I was like, okay, I will kill you then. And then I was able to, thanks to the terrain here, I was able to just move all the way back. My initial plan was just to move back to the 30 defense terrain here, but I didn't need to. I didn't actually use very many of my Forest Spring procs, so I was able to just move in, kill, run back. Pretty standard stuff here. So don't need to worry about Luna. Rachel did throw out Runic Void, which of course purged any crystals I had active at the time. That's weird. Oh, it's the reason why there's none on Rosalia is because she's immune to all debuffs right now thanks to Chivalry. So this was pretty much a wasted nuke. So went ahead and healed up. Used this as an opportunity to go ahead and get the crystal stacks back up because I needed to because Elwyn's coming. Alright, act again. And did strategic regroup just to get some healing. This also provides some passive healing after combats, which is the other reason why I did it. Alright. So, she does have the extended range staff. Dark Reaper hits, but at full health it wasn't enough. That's actually what I was always worried about, because Dark Reaper can bypass, it goes through 30% of your magic defense, but even with that, it wasn't enough. Alright, so I did damage to myself because of the Reflect from the accessory. I don't see that ring very often, but apparently she has it. And here comes Elwyn. So at this point, the only DPS they have left is Elwyn. So, partially wounded Freya versus Cavalry. Nope. Alright, Illumination of course procced. So this actually put me in a weird situation. This is actually something I want to check. So, gonna go ahead and take out one of Elwyn's lives. But I did get hit with, So yeah, when I got hit with the Elwyn's attack, I did lose my guard range. This is why I moved back here with Illustrial. It actually put me in a kind of a nasty spot, because essentially both Rosalia and Illustrial were out of guard range. Same thing for Florentia. So I had to pick somebody. And there was a there was a chance that Elwyn would kill the other character. I think this was the right choice because Elwyn's stuff is all on cooldown except for Sword Soul. And at best, he could only move 2 steps to attack Rosalia, as opposed to possibly going around this way and attacking with attacking Illustrial after moving 4 spaces. So I think this was the safe bet. So went ahead and did that. I did get my move, my roundabout, so I'm actually going to go ahead and move a position to block any potential attacks on Florentia. Because right now Florentia is in threat range, so I move here, that blocks it. So moves 3 steps, get some healing. I can't do any fixed damage to this particular Elwyn. Alright. Did finally get through my spears, but it wasn't enough to get a kill. And at this point I'm able to just completely take out Elwyn. His attack range is 0, so he can't even counterattack. And now everyone got a buff thanks to the kill. And there you go. So, pretty cool matches. I'm actually really happy with how the box has been performing, and actually got some opportunities to use characters I didn't really get an opportunity to use before, like Rosalind Seal and Florentia and so forth. Shaltier's actually has always been kind of surprising. Actually got me a win essentially, so pretty happy about this. What's even more shocking is I had 4 wins and 1 loss on qualifying matches, and I am now Gold 3. This is... so I don't need to do any additional grinding. I am done. I have done everything. The only thing I need to do to actually get the rewards is I have to participate in 10 ranked matches. I don't have to win them, I just have to participate in them. So for this week, I'm probably going to be done for the week, because I've been pretty busy with other games and prepping for a trip. So yeah. I guess speaking of, next week I will not be... actually, by the time you see this video, it's not going to matter. But essentially, I am going to be skipping a week. The following week, I'm not going to be doing Apex, or at least I'm not planning to, because I'm going to be out of town, and I usually don't play this game on a phone. Going to be spending some time with family and all that, so yeah. But by the time you guys see this video, I should be back, and I'll be continuing. Like I said, I got Gold 3. I'm actually really happy about this. I was actually shocked. Because usually when you get things like, 4 wins, 1 loss, they'll put you like in Silver 1, maybe Silver 2. But Gold 3, I can't complain. That was great. I'm really happy about that. I had some considerations about possibly dropping Charlinka eventually and replacing her with Tsubame. Tsubame's a little bit easier to kind of set up things for assassinations, but the main thing that Charlinka has is she's actually kind of tanky for an assassin, because she's of course infantry, and I use skeleton warriors for her. But also she has the potential to, of course, attack the general directly, but that's kind of based off my opponent's mistakes, which is kind of rough to set up. Also, I don't think I've really done any Apex matches with Charlinka's new helmet, which actually gives her a lot more flexibility as far as what she can do as far as setting up her teleport and all that, because it'll last 2 turns instead of 1. So that's definitely something I'm definitely interested in. Besides that, there's not really anything that stands out. The next banner is going to be Toa and Patsir, and I'm planning on going all in to get them both. I don't really have any plans for Patsir, though I do want to use her, but her factions don't really fit well. I think she's like Dark and... I don't know, Dark and Sage or something like that. I don't remember what it's called. Origin, I think it is. That's just going to bother me. But what is it called? I think it's you, right? Yeah. Mythical, sorry. Yeah, I think Patsir is Dark and Mythical, but I don't remember. I know she's definitely Dark. And then Toa is Reincarnation and Origin, which is actually really good. The only bad part about Toa is some of her kit revolves around having actual SSR faction buff rather than just a regular one. And unfortunately, Freya does not provide an SSR faction buff, and so far there's no signs of her getting one in the future. All that's left to improve Freya is a 3-cost skill, and I'm hoping she gets a faction buff like Bernhardt does, but it is what it is. Any case, like I said, I can't complain. I got 4 out of 5 wins, and I got Gold 3. Like I said, I'm good to go. I'm going to have to do multiple matches throughout the weeks. Actually, it's only 10 matches. Yeah, I might be able to do it. Anyway, I think that's enough rambling from me. Like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed these matches. I certainly did. It was actually kind of refreshing. Even the fight against the Season 6 person was fine. I just didn't have an answer to his box. And it wasn't really frustrating. Usually I only get tilted when I'm fighting someone and I end up coming just short of getting kills. Because that just hurts. But in this case, I haven't really run into that. All my characters that have been going for kills have been going for it, and the only characters that kind of failed to get kills was young Jessica, and all she had to do was just keep firing, and eventually the damage outdoes their healing. So good stuff there. I guess as far as progress is concerned, I'm just working on getting people to 6 stars. Everyone has all of their bonds taken care of, so good to go on that front. Pretty much everyone is decked out in SSR gear at this point. It's just a matter of getting better SSR gear for them. Been working on a chance, but it's slow going, unfortunately. And besides that, I'm kind of just waiting for the next batch of characters. I've actually been using a lot of my spare rune stones just to kind of max out everyone else, even though it's not that helpful. I think there's like maybe 5, 6, maybe 7 characters that don't have all of their classes fully maxed out at this point. So I'm kind of in good shape here. And kind of what I talked about in the previous video, yeah, by the time you guys see this video, Akaya will be 6 stars as well. So that'll put us in pretty good shape. So, until then, I am the Depressed Eagle. This was Langrisser Mobile Apex Season 7. See you guys later.